Okay, now that we've finished draining all the traps and filters, we can now backflush the system. So now basically the process of backflushing the filters involves using this device here, which is a copy of the big 20-gallon or 80-liter processing tank, but this only holds 4 gallons or 8 liters, or I'm sorry, 16 liters of gasoline. And I have a vented fuel cap at the top, which I remove and just put the filler nozzle at the gas station, fill it right into this. And now I'm going to close this 2-inch valve so that I can pressurize this operation, and so that I can push gasoline out of this and through the whole system. And that involves hooking up the air hose and the power cables and all that, so I'm going to go do that and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm now set up to backflush the filters. And basically I've got an air pump hidden back in here, and it's hooked up to a standard air hose, which goes to the top, which allows me to pump air to the top of my reservoir of gasoline or petrol, and that will force the gasoline out of this container and through my traps and bag filters. And all I have to do to start that up is to plug the filter, the pump in. And you might be able to hear the pump now turning. And now I'm going to just slowly raise the pressure with my pressure regulator. And as we can see, gasoline is now entering our trap. And here's the gasoline entering the trap. Okay, let's see it better. There we go. See, we can see it coming into the top of the filter. It's coming into this trap anyway, from the clean side towards the dirty side. That's how backflushing works. As you force a clean solvent, such as clean petrol or gasoline, will go through the clean side of the filter, into the clean side of the filter, through the medium, filtering medium, and then out the dirty side. And we start at the cleanest end of the line, let's say to the outside of the 1 micron filter, and we'll go backwards to the dirty side. At 1 psi the flow rate is not real rapid, but we don't really need rapid flow rate. However, the bag filter, if you recall, needed 10 psi to move fluid through it, 20 gallons of, or 80 liters of fluid, or our fuel blend through it in an hour. And I prefer not to have to spend an hour doing that, so we'll see. The transfer of gasoline backwards through my filtering manifold has been going on for a while. The clear view container that's after the 1 micron filter is still showing fluid entering, which is a great way for me to monitor the progress of this backflushing operation. As long as it's bubbling and churning like that, that means petrol or gasoline is being forced backwards to the filters, and it's great having some positive feedback in this operation. I really like these big clear filters, as long as they don't break like the GE ones did. Now, by monitoring the flow of petrol into the top of our clean, visible sight glass, we should be able to tell when the gasoline runs out of our backflushing tank, and because air should start bubbling through it. All right, there we go. So now we see air settling. Back flushing the filters took about 15 minutes, and the draining of the traps and filters took 15 minutes before that. And then what I'm going to do is drain the gasoline out of all the filters and traps, and then I'm going to put all that into the processing tank, and then throw some oil on top, top the tank off with vegetable oil, and then it'll be ready for processing another 20 gallons or 80 liters of blended vegetable oil diesel fuel. And the gasoline or petrol in this container is clean, because remember, this had only a few drops of vegetable oil in it that had been filtered down to 1 micron. So this is clean enough. I'm going to decant it into a gas can and use it in my gasoline generator. All right, so now let's drain the gasoline or petrol out of our view glass. All right, that's 1 gallon or 4 liters of petrol drained from our view glass. And this stuff is going to go right in my fuel can when I get to it. Now we're going to drain the bag filter. And as you can see, the gasoline coming out, or petrol coming out, is fairly clear. So we've succeeded in back flushing the filter. Okay, so now I'm going to drain the gasoline that I back flushed through the Y traps. And as you can see, it's dirty, but it's a lot cleaner than what came out of the Y trap to begin with. Now, that was the 80 mesh wide trap I just drained. Now I'm going to drain the 40 mesh wide trap.